Our wingers are hushing, bro. It's rubbish. Our wingers, I can't lie to you, man. It's probably
I
the
don't think
worst
they're
in the
rubbish.
league.
I don't think they're rubbish.
What do you
I
mean
don't
they're
think they're
rubbish?
as bad
I don't think they're
as.
rubbish. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
they're
they're
Okay,
as bad
who
as.
apart from Ahmad, yeah, and Rashford ain't played bad this season. I'm not gonna crash it on Rashford too much this season. I don't think he's
Garnacho.
played. Garnacho, come on, my brother. Bro, I'm the one that tries to back him, yeah, when all the man them don't rate him. And even I'm thinking he ain't really good enough, man.
Bro,
Let's
I
be
don't care
honest.
what anyone tells me. He's a kid.
I'm
He's still
in.
developing.
Bro,
I'm
forget
in.
the kid, man.
I'm in.
Broski. Man them like Lamine Yamal is doing bits, bro. Come on, man. Forget the
But
kid.
here's
Not
the thing,
He's
though.
not
Lamine.
He's
He's
not
not Lamine
No,
Yamal.
but I'm just saying though, for me, yeah, it's like right now, he's just not the guy, bro. You cannot rely on Garnacho.
100%.
You're telling me you're going into next
100%.
season, you're relying on Garnacho. He needs to be squad player.
No one's
Oh,
not saying. I'm not saying that, but right now I'm confident with our wingers. Stop doing that. He's a kid. He's a kid. You'll do it. Same thing with Manu. He's a kid.
I'm gonna be real. Nah, it's at the difference is though, it's year 3 now. It's year 3, and he's like last year. At least you could tell that maybe he had a little bit of development, being able to play on the right hand side. He showed a little bit progress there. But this season, first of all, I'm seeing him have the green light and just shooting about 8 shots a game for no reason. He gets the ball and shoot on sight. Nothing else is happening. It's just shoot on sight. And just the concerns and the attributes that you see from him, you can tell when someone, especially as a forward, they have certain skills that you can just tell. Okay, they're going to be a top class player one day, or they're just going to be, like Saeed mentioned, a squad player. His ball striking still very, very inconsistent. The pace, he's really not that quick. He got a little bit of speed sometimes, but he gets out muscled very, very easily. Another thing, the strength, the core strength, not really good. Any player can move to him very quickly. They'll just throw him to the floor and he'll just complain all that kind of stuff. I guess his internet just cut out or something like that. So he's a good play. He's a solid player in terms of like he could be a winger, like maybe a 6-man, as we say in basketball, maybe come off the bench, stuff like that, impact player. But as a starter, if United ever want to be competing for the big trophies and stuff like that, Garnacho cannot be a starter on the wing. He's just not good enough for that. And it's not a detriment to him or anything like that. Certain players just have the attributes to be, because even you want to compare him to like Rashford. Rashford at 19, you could tell under the right coach, if someone worked with him, you could develop him into something. Obviously, that never happened. You're not going to get that.
We need
just to add to that, Rashford was a much better talent than Garnacho. When they were coming through, when Rashford had natural pace that Garnacho just doesn't have. He's a much better striker of the ball than Garnacho. The striking. He's a much better striker of the ball than Garnacho. The thing is, Garnacho, he's a poor finisher. You know what infuriates me? It's the fans singing Viva Garnacho, that song. That song infuriates me. Because they make him out to be like a messiah. Like he's a standout player within our team. And I'm like, what are you singing his name for? This guy's not a very good footballer. The thing is, if you're a winger, yes, Brian.
I was just going to say that's the club's fault. It's not the fans' fault, it's the club's fault. Because we are propping him up to be this thing, and the club are propping him up to be this thing, when we haven't yet told him this is your role in the team. The manager played him how many games straight last season? Like back to back to back to back. Like come on. Like this is no way to develop a player. So for me, United fans need to decide, what do you guys want? Do you guys want wingers or do you want inside forwards? We don't even know what we're doing. Like we play a false 9 type striker with wingers.
Depends on my midfield. Also depends like what the midfield looks like and stuff like that. If you have like if you have like a workman midfield, like let's say Liverpool for example, right? The midfield that they had under Klopp, like the Henderson, Fabinho, Ronaldo. If you have that kind of midfield, then yeah, you need your inside forwards, a la Mane, Salah, that kind of stuff. But if you have a midfield that has a creative play in there, I'm not talking like a Bruno level creativity, even like a Manu, and I know you mentioned Angel Gomez earlier. Those guys can create. But their level of and their type of creation is different than a Bruno, where they spam the ball into the box, stuff like that. They'll do little intricacies and stuff like that with the false 9. Then you can get away with having more kind of like Brian mentioned, wide players. You could have your Vichas of the world.
Yeah, man.
So yeah.
Griggs,
Wi-Fi stick and hooked.
Griggs, when you said
where do we leave? Where do we leave, man? Where do we leave?
We're talking about like the kind of wingers that we want.
Griggs, you see when you just said about Liverpool, yeah? When Mane and Salah had poor games, yeah, did you ever see them walking back?
No, they pressed like dogs.
Did you ever see Klopp having to compensate for Let's let Mane stay up there. Doesn't have to really track back. Let's just. Did you ever see that? Was everyone moving as a unit? So when I hear the comparisons, let's be totally transparent. I don't see Rashford doing that. And you don't do what these players do for their respective clubs. So I don't like the comparison. That's just my point. That's just my bit on it.
Can we go back to the point where we talk about Garnacho? Yeah. So you believe Garnacho is good enough?
No.
All right. Okay. So what were you disagreeing with me then?
No, I was saying I think he's good enough right now. As in, when you're saying we've got terrible wingers, I don't think so. I think we've got quite decent wingers in the Premier League. I don't think Garnacho, same as Kobe Mainoo, should be starting for United.
Yeah, Garnacho is good enough to be in the team, Saeed. He's not good enough to start. I just think that's
okay. That's fair. That's what I'm just trying to say, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I think the other thing is, if we're smart, I don't think his value is going to increase too much. I think if we're smart, we get a really good offer. Yeah, I don't think his value. If we're smart and we get a really good offer for him, I'd sell him. I would like if we get a $50 million offer.
I always said if a club ever offers 60 mil or more for Garnacho, I'm selling him with it.
I'm selling him as well. Facts.
I don't think he's any.
The thing
better.
is,
I don't think he's better than
Estella. The thing is, he's like, and somebody made this point before. Like, he's not blistering quick for an elite winger. Like, if you're talking about the top wingers, he's not somebody that's just going to beat you for pace or whatever. But then he's not that. And then the other point is, he's not a good decision maker. If you're not that quick, you can afford to be not that quick if you're an amazing decision maker. That if you're able to slip people through, if you're able to find 1-2s, he doesn't do any of that. He just thinks, I'm going to run at you and carry the ball, and then he'll inevitably lose it. And they sing his name at Old Trafford like he's the next Ronaldo. And
bro, it's crazy. He's nowhere near Ronaldo, guys. Please, he's not. He's not probably got 1/5 or anything of Ronaldo. Nothing reminds me of Ronaldo.
Is he being coached?
The other thing is, he said he's going to go.
Coach
my dreams to play for Madrid. My dreams to play for Madrid. Get out of here.
As a bench player, as someone who can come off the bench and excite you for the last 15, 20 minutes, he's the guy for you. But unfortunately, after that, it's nothing, guys. I'm sorry.
I think his mentality will get him far.
In the next 10 goals. I still wouldn't believe. Wi-Fi's gone. Yeah. So he would be the starter. He would have been the starter. That's it.
I think his mentality will get him far, and he has some useful traits, like you said, off the bench. But if we're building a team to win the Premier League, win the Champions League eventually, for me, United need attackers that can almost create things for themselves more so. Yeah. You know?
Let's talk about
You can cope with maybe having your number 9 rely off goals, right? You can do that. But I think the two attackers, Ahmad is a system attacker.
Yeah.